Okay, Brian, thank you. Salam. Thank you for taking the time to be out with me today. How was your life from before you became a Muslim?
Actually, the funny part is I lived in Malaysia. My primary school was all Chinese school, so that means there's no exposure to Malays or Muslims. Then I went to a secondary school in Taman, which predominantly was 99% Chinese again. And then there's maybe a few Malays only. And even then, I don't even know them, when I was in secondary school. Then thereafter, I went to a Jesuit university in US. And of course, it's a Jesuit university. You don't get any Muslims there again. So that's how I look back in my life. If it wasn't the hidayah I get from Allah, I can never be a Muslim.
So how was your behavior before you became Muslim? Was it any different than now?
Of course, once I become Muslim, a lot of things have to start changing, things that I learned how I respect my parents. I cannot even raise my voice, I even told my mom, just look at me, before Islam, I'm always raising my voice, getting angry. Then when after I became Muslim, I learned that I even raise my voice. So since I became Muslim, never ever, raise my voice. That's one of the best quality I learned from Islam.
Respect your parents.
I never say to people that, I'm the God, but deep down inside, that's God is there.
Really?
Yeah. It's a fitra thing. I think even how many people today they admit that we don't believe in God, but somehow or other, like what I went through, the same thing. It's inside deep down. There's something that you feel is the presence of God.
So before this, would you say that you denied the existence of God before you became Muslim?
Yeah, I mean, with arrogance, I guess, but again, deep down inside, deep down inside, God. Even you utter such blasphemous words like there's no God, I am God, that kind of thing. But deep down inside, it's like, did I say something wrong? That kind of thing. Yeah. It's like I think it's a fitra that Allah put in their heart that even how I mean, most people I feel like the arrogance, they feel that they're high and mighty. But they know deep down inside God is there.
Okay, how did you discover Islam?
Okay, as I mentioned earlier on, I have really minimal or almost zero contact with Muslims, when prior for me to convert to Islam. One of my friends brought me to the temples actually in Thailand. Then brought me to this different Buddhist temples, and tell me this is God. So I was like one day, my heart started moving. I was like, hey, is this really God?
Wow.
So I was like, should I start believing in God? So I actually went back to the apartment and I was in the balcony. I was looking up the sky. I was asking God, who are you? Please tell me. I want to worship you. Are you the four face, the eight face, the 11 face? Of course, at that time, I didn't ask, are you Allah? Because that would be the last thing I would ever ask.
Right.
So I was just sitting down there for 2 hours actually, asking God, please tell me who you are. I guess after that incident, 6 months, I lived my life, for 34 years of my life, I never experienced, I never been with a Muslim, I never really talked to them or know any of them. But within 6 months, Allah has shown me so many signs, one after another, that I just, you tell me just one sign, then it might be some superstitious, but Allah, in the whole 6 months, it's like a dream, I didn't even realize, to the day that when Allah started, after the questioning, then Allah sent a lot of hidayah, a lot of different signs that pointing me to Islam. Then at the 6 month, I even bought a book, a Wudu book that I had a friend of mine, Dato in Suraban, which he passed away already, and he was like one of the maybe 2 Muslim friends that I know that had to drive all the way to Suraban and tell him, hey, I want to do Mashhada with you,
Okay. May I know what was the science? Can you just give probably a few examples? What was the science?
Actually, it's actually for me that 6 months is like a dream. I can't even pinpoint what are the signs that's like, the heart is feeling Islam, seeing things. I'm saying things like, let's do what we do best, let God do the rest. Slowly things like creeping in me. I really,
honestly, you cannot describe it with words.
I cannot describe words. It's just that experience, that many different experiments that came to me that I feel that, that Islam was the religion. Then this friend of mine, which is in Surabaya, he actually gave me a Quran translation, Yusuf, the translation English. So I started reading it. And wow, everything I read about Islam is so true. It's like nothing to deny. Whatever I read.
You were not exposed to Islam before this, right? So when you read some materials on Islam, what made you so sure that is the truth for you?
As I said, maybe this is the hidayah from Allah, just opening up.
When you read, you just feel that it makes sense.
It makes sense. I read that it makes sense. That I read that it actually tells me things, that, it's like the answer is all there, it's like I read, it's like, wow, it's so true, everything is so true. It's like, how can it be not true,
Sure.
So then I was so excited about this religion. It's all about the mercy from Allah. It's the hidayah. Yeah, and there it's
guidance from
Allah. It's what you ask for. I ask for guidance. So when the time comes, when I say, oh man, I have to be a Muslim, I can't eat the things that I used to eat. I have to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to pray, and so many things that I have to but I took the leap of faith, and I had no looking back after that. Alhamdulillah, this is the best religion, and I feel, after being a Muslim, everything opens up. Before being a Muslim, everything you see is just about dunya. You have nothing in life.
What is that one thing about Islam that attracted you until you were so certain that I have to embrace Islam today?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. For you, it's the truth, right?
For me, it's just when I see it's the truth. I guess it's Allah opened my heart, my eyes to see Islam. Maybe Allah knows that at age of 34, I'm ready. Before that, I'm just like usual, party goer.
Okay.
Every Friday, Saturday, I'll be in clubbing, and things like that. So maybe Allah knows that okay, it's time,
right,
for you to come back to Islam. So at the age of 34, Allah. I started the question, just like what the saying is like, when you approach Allah, falling, Allah will come to you. So that's how when I started asking. So I feel if you are sincere and you really ask for God, any prayer, I think at the end of the day, that's how I feel. If you ask, Allah will give.
As long as you're sincere.
Even if you're not sincere, sometimes Allah will give. Allah is all giver. So I feel, but if you're sincere to ask what you have, Allah will give it to you. And I ask who God is, and Allah gave me Islam. As I said, in my wildest dream, I never ever thought of becoming a Muslim.
How did it feel after you recited the Shahada?
I still remember I was in front with my little friend. Both of us started tearing,
wow.
It's like that's how I feel. The most sincere that who say the Shahada, immediately you feel a sense of relief, you accepted what it. And I remember the first time I ever put my head
on the ground.
Down on the ground.
How did it feel?
It was like, how small and how little. And a tear, I just cried when I was down there. That was my very first time I put my head down.
What's your favorite part in Ramadan?
I feel very God conscious during this month. I feel that Ramadan gives, like Allah always every year gives us some kind of renewal, iman test kind of thing. That I feel, is that every year, if you have your iman is still okay, you check, then Ramadan month is alright. So I feel Ramadan month is a test of our iman,
It's an opportunity for you to renew your faith.
To renew our faith, to be more God conscious.
Thank you, Brian, for taking the time to share this experience.